Hello, Gravestalkers. It is good to see you guys, or I guess I can't see you guys, but you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. I am using a different mic this time than my internal built-in one. I'm going to move it closer to me, and hopefully you can hear me good and well. And if not, I want to turn up the gain. Turning it up or down? Yes, it's a Yeti. Up. Okay. Let's hope you can hear me pretty well. I just didn't think my audio turned out really well last time I did this. So we're learning as we go, folks. We're learning as we go. Hopefully, if you are joining me live, you saw my post that I was going to do this. My name is Mary Graves, and I like tarot. I like horror movies. I like tarot. And like last time, I don't have like a background music thing that I can have playing while I do this. So I've got a movie on from Shudder. If you didn't know, Shudder is doing a free 30-day trial thing using the code SHUTIN. That's SHUTIN, SHUTIN. No, I'm not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form, but I do love horror movies, and wherever I can get them, I'm going to get them. So right now I have Shudder on in the background, and I'm watching, well, I'm not watching, I'm paying attention to you, but for some background noise, I have the first Friday the 13th going, just because I know that won't distract me as much because I've seen it 1,000 times. So you won't be spoiling the ending for me if you decide to talk about it in the chat. Chat is open, so feel free to go ahead and ask me any questions that you want. I'm going to start mixing the deck for this week's tarot readings. If this is your first time joining me, I do one card for every sign in the astrological calendar, starting with Aries and working my way to Pisces. So, and then I read through what the card means, and we take it from there. Don't get really personal with it, because obviously I don't know who's watching and you know what you might be going through, and I can't give you any personal advice, but I am considering doing personal readings. So if you are interested, stay tuned, and I will be giving that information sometime over the next week. So I'm doing the mixing. How's everyone's week going right now? Let me know. Feel free to type something in the chat. Let's do some discussing while we do this. My week so far, it's only Monday, kind of been crappy. Only because I woke up with a stiff neck yesterday. And today I woke up with a stiff neck and a stiff shoulder. I think that just means I need to start back my yoga practice. So Yoga with Adrian, or Adrian Yoga, whatever, that YouTube channel I absolutely love. And you know what? I'll link her at some point. If I can link up here, I'll link up here. And if I can link down below, if I can't link up here, I'll link down below her yoga channel. She is amazing. And if you are like me and you like to see animals, sometimes her dog Benji joins her, and it's adorable. So I think I'm going to have to start my yoga practice over again. It's been a couple months since I've done. God, it's been a couple months. I think it's been a couple of months since I've done yoga. And I really need to get back to it because I am sore. I am tired. And I'm sitting on the couch instead of in front of a desk computer at work. And I need to have a reason to get up and move. I do a lot of video editing and music stuff when I'm home. Now I'm home all the time. So that's all I'm doing. And I'm doing more of it. And I love it because it's better than what I was doing at a desk job. But I still need to give myself reasons to get up. And then on top of that, I took my dogs for a walk, gave myself a thing to do, and twisted my ankle. So now I have a ace bandage on my ankle right now. I can put pressure on it. It's not broken. It's just a pain in my ass. Oh yeah, I swear. So if you're offended by words like that, well, then go away. I'm sorry to lose you, but go away. But if you're not, then great, because I'm going to do it every once in a while. Probably not a lot, but it happens. So. Anyways, we're at the part of Friday the 13th where that girl gets picked up by the truck, and you think that she's going to be a main person. She turns out not to be. Spoiler alert. I love this movie. Anyways, a little bit more mixing going on here. All right. And then we divide into piles. It's just, if you want to know the reasons why I do any of this, mix it the way I do, feel free to check out my very first tarot reading where I kind of go back into my history of how I got into tarot in the first place. I will link that up here when I go back into this video. And I talk a lot in that video. But you get some good background information on me if you want it. But don't do that now. Don't go there now. Stay here now. Stay here now and listen to me babble while I mix the deck. Also, if you are interested in this deck, hey! Oh, I have to reach and say hi. Hello to Champagne Sea. Welcome. It is very nice to see you. If you are curious about this deck, it is the Destiny Tarot. I got this when I was 16, which was a long time ago. And I actually have a link below in my description. It should already be there. If you are interested in purchasing a deck like this or the other two decks that I have that I also talk about in my very first tarot reading video from a few weeks ago. So feel free to check those out at some point. All right, I'm going to cut the deck one more time in the name of the Destiny Tarot. Top card after I cut the deck shall be the card for Aries. All right. Aries, your card is the Nine of Swords. Then we have Taurus. And I'll go back and I'll do a reading for each of these. You are the Two of Swords reversed. That's Taurus. And I always remember the first two, and then I get mixed up in the middle there. Gemini. How can I forget Geminis? I'm made to be best friends with Geminis because I'm a Virgo. Oh, we got another two, but Two of Wands. Also reversed. See. Then we got our Cancers. Cancer's always the one I forget. And oh, you got a change card coming up. Cancers, you are the Justice card. Justice. All right, and then we have Leos, which are King of Swords. Man, our readings the last couple of weeks have had a lot of swords involved. And then we got Virgos. That's me. And we are the Three of Pentacles reversed. I have to double check. I feel like I got this card last week. It's either this card or another Pentacles card, but Three of Pentacles reversed. Usually I start rereading the book and then I remember that, yeah, that is the card I had. Libras. All my Libras say, hey, you are the World reversed. The World is a great card, but usually only when it's right side up. But it's a change card, and sometimes change is necessary, whether it's good or bad. So we'll catch up with that. Then we've got to scroll to Scorpios. Scorpios are the Queen of Cups reversed. All right, and then we got Sagittariuses, which are, we got another queen on the deck. Queen of Swords reversed. Again, another sword. And then we have Scorpio, Sagittarius, and then, don't tell me, it's Capricorn, right? Capricorns. All right. Capricorns are the King of Pentacles. There you go. And then we have Aquarius. All my Aquariuses, raise your hands. Ooh, you got the Death card, and it's reversed. That doesn't mean necessarily bad things. It just means changes are coming, and there are probably more endings than beginnings. But with every ending, there is a beginning. So controversial, I guess. And then finally, Pisces. The Knight of Swords. Look at that. All of our swords are coming out to play. All right. Now that we've drawn our cards, let's get to reading. I do like to read from the book first, and then I kind of give my own interpretations on it, kind of the few things that it could possibly mean. So let's dive right in. First with the Nine of Swords for our... Sorry. Aries. I almost wanted to say Aquarius. Aries. So many A's. Nine of Swords. I think that girl already got killed, and now we're on to other people who are at the camp in the movie. The horror movies. All right, Nine of Swords. Life seems pretty bleak. Sorry. and you may even be losing sleep over current problems. However, you are in a much better position than you imagine, and you will soon realize this if you deal only with the facts and not your fears. Boy, could that apply for all of us right now. I mean, not all of us. I think some of us are dealing with isolation much better than others. And great if you are one of those people, but I know of a lot of people and a lot of people who have been talking to a lot of other people that I know who are in full-on panic mode. And honestly, if you're just smart about what's going on right now in the world, the coronavirus and everything, you should be able to get through it. But yeah, I know if you're around other people, they might not be smart and they might be the ones who are getting you sick. And that's where all the panic and the fear comes in. So wash your hands, don't touch your face, wear your masks. CDC is now saying wear masks when you are going to be around other people. I take my dogs for a walk. I may not encounter anyone. I still am wearing a mask. And I was doing that for the last couple of weeks before it was even recommended, just in case. So be smart. Listen to the CDC. And if this is not where your fears are coming from, if your fears are coming from business things or people you're in love with things, then, feel free to comment on them. You don't have to comment on them. That's probably a private thing. But you can feel free to do that. And we can talk that through. But it's your fears, probably, more than the actual situation that's making it a lot worse. All right. That was Aries. We are doing Taurus. Taurus is the Two of Swords reversed. Don't have to flip the book that far. Usually reversed with swords cards is actually not that bad. So keep your fingers crossed. Open your eyes. Oh, keep your fingers crossed and open your eyes. At the moment, you are not viewing things in their true light. You are caught up in dogma or moral argument that is blinding you to the truth. Okay, this is very similar to that last card, except this time, instead of it being your fears that are clouding the truth, it's moral argument and dogma. You are a person who may think that you are right, and maybe you are not so right all the time. I'll move this over here and try to get myself louder. So I think this is one of those things that requires perspective. Maybe you're the person who's spreading fear to other people, maybe not even knowingly, you're not doing it on purpose, but oh no, that girl didn't die yet. Okay, she's about to die though. It's coming up. Distractions. But maybe think before you speak and think before you act, because what you are doing is not good for the situation at hand. Again, this could be virus-related stuff. This could be other life-related stuff. I can't judge it unless I know more about you. But think about your moral code and see if that actually applies to the times you're living in, because maybe it just needs to be updated. I could get really political with that, but I'm not gonna, because that's not what this is for. But I think this card could easily apply to that kind of argument too. All right, we are moving on to Gemini. Again, forgetting what comes next, and it's Gemini. My buddies, the Geminis. Two of Wands reversed. Okay. Take care in a business deal because it could fall apart or cause headaches. Property deals may be beset by delays or snags. Travel arrangements might be temporarily blocked or stymied. Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what's happening with travel arrangements nowadays. So that one's obvious. That one's an obvious one. You are falling into that category that's being talked about in the news, where businesses are on hold unless you're considered essential. Don't force it because it's a natural slowing down. Find alternate ways of having a business run or of expanding your business in terms of being remote. It's really all the advice I can give you on that. But it's basically sounds like everything that I've heard in the news. So keep plugging along and good luck. That's all I can say about that. Sorry. Cancers. Cancers are next. And you have the big change card. You are the Justice card. So let us take a look at that. Justice. When I say big change card, in case I kind of explained this in my last video, but we've got the suit cards, which are your swords, your wands, your pentacles, and your cups. And they're more of a change in the way of thinking type of thing, or influences changing type of thing. But when you get these kind of cards that don't belong to a suit, they're their own thing. Your Justice, your Lovers, your Tower, your Judgment. It's more of a, these are big changes that are coming to you type of card. The changes are going to be different depending on the card, of course, but they're usually more of an upheaval or an upsetting of the way things used to work. And not upsetting necessarily in a bad way. Justice. Again, for my Cancers. You are in a strong position to reach the correct decision over a current challenge or problem. You will act fairly, consider all your options, and show that you have the courage of your convictions. If you are embroiled in a legal matter or a wrangle with a large institution, the outcome will be positive, provided you act fairly. So no underhanded, no illegal actions. This card is a good sign if it appears when you are entering a new relationship. Things will go well for you. So if you're entering a new relationship, make sure they wash their hands before you see them and don't touch your face. But it sounds like you're in a different position than the card previous to you, the Two of Wands, because instead of things being stuck, you've probably figured out a way, or you're probably on the brink of figuring out a way to work business during this time of isolation and being stuck at home in your home office. Or you work for a company that has figured it out and you are involved in that figuring it out. So good. Congratulations. And I really hope that it works out for you. I really hope that is what it is about. And if it's about new relationships, that's great too, because, we're not really connecting with people that much right now. So it's good to have those connections still happening, even in times of isolation. Just be smart about it. All right, tea break, because I'm talking a lot. And just for the record, Kevin Bacon is still alive. He has not died in this movie yet. All right. That was our Cancers. So we are moving on to our Leos. And Leos have got the King of Swords right side up. King of Swords, right side up. A king can describe part of your personality that is important at the time of the reading, or it can depict a man who is playing a big role in your life. The man represented by the King of Swords is very powerful. He is smart, intelligent, logical, and rational. Okay, now just for the record, I know the book comes off very gender-like, but that doesn't necessarily mean man or woman. So it could be either or it could be, non-binary in this world. So, but the book says he or she. I'm just reading what the book says. Just a little PC note right there. He is smart, intelligent, logical, and rational, and he has a strict moral code and a strong air of authority. He judges situations clearly, perhaps as part of his job. Sounds like an HR type of guy. He is a good friend in a crisis, so this card may be telling you to seek professional advice, to rely on your own strength of character, or to view current problems with more objectivity. That's the world we're living in today. You can't look at things from one point of view. You have to have open perspective. And going back to the HR thing, if you're dealing with other people, then you have to be a strong leader for those people. Maybe it's more of a CEO or a manager type position person too. Just being a strong force for people to look up to. That's kind of your role right now. I mean, this week, not only is it probably really hard on businesses, but it's supposed to be, unfortunately, really hard in terms of people's health, where the curve is going to get its greatest is what I think I'm hearing in the news. So you need reliable leaders to look up to, and that includes the people that you work with or work for. And if you are one of those people who have people working for you, then this is the time to act with gravitas and just be a leader that other people want to be, other people want to follow. All right, Virgos, We're in about 20 minutes and we're about halfway or almost halfway through. So I think that's pretty good. Oh, we're at the snake killing scene. There's a snake killing scene in this movie. And I just found out from rewatching the Crystal Lake Diaries documentary that they actually killed a snake for this scene. I don't think they meant to do that. It just kind of happened that way. But that sucks. That's a very anti-animal. I love animals, not necessarily spiders and snakes and all that, but still sad. I wouldn't kill a snake unless it was in the wild and it was like something, it's gonna bite me or something. But pet snakes are cool. Anyways, little notes you get when I'm distracted. 3 of Pentacles reversed. That is what we get for the Virgos. Cutting corners in a project in order to save money will be a false economy. You may also have overlooked some important details in the planning stage. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, especially if you're somebody who's planning an at-home business. Like I just mentioned at the beginning of this video, I am thinking about doing personalized tarot readings through video chat like this, but private, probably through Zoom. I really need to think through all those plans and not cut any corners just to get it started quickly, like advertising it way ahead of time. This is just me previewing it. This weekly reading will always be for free. This is for me. This is fun. And for you, if you're watching right now, all one of you. But for the personalized readings, that'll be something that is done in private video chat, but I really need to get all my ducks in a row before I start actually. I know I'm not the only one who's starting their own at-home business, and if you are a Virgo like me, it is telling you, make sure you don't cut any corners. That's good advice for anyone, really. But I'm guessing if you're like me and you're a Virgo, that you're doing it this week, and it's not the time to cut corners. You really want to make sure all your plans are laid out and followed accordingly. That's actually just a Virgo thing, honestly. We're the ones who are completely organized and don't look behind me because there's a mess, but we're the ones who are dealing with organization and trying to stay clean all the time. So like my freshly washed air dried hair. So that's basically a Virgo card right there. Moving on to our Libras, you've got the World reversed. That's another change card. It's a change card, but it's a reversed change card, which means it might not be the best news. Because usually the World is about having the world, like the world on your plate type of thing. So the reversed probably isn't so great. Something that you hoped would work out well is now looking shaky or in jeopardy. You may be unhappy at facing the end of an era, perhaps because you regret its passing. If confronted by the prospect of change, you long to dig your heels in and stand your ground. Are you being steadfast and reliable, or are you frightened of what this change will bring? Okay, I can't speak again specifically to what you Libras are going through out there, but it sounds like some of the changes that could be happening in this kind of time would be businesses not getting off the ground, or you thought you'd be able to keep your job during this isolation and you're not going to be able to. Your business is closing. Your company is letting go of people while they're isolated instead of hanging on to them and helping them work from home. I've known of a couple companies and businesses that have had to go through that already. So hopefully that's not what you're going through, but my screen isn't exactly in front of me, but it's close. So that's what comes to mind for me. Hopefully that's not what you're going through, but logically, that might be what you're going through. So hopefully next week will be better. Sagittariuses. No, sorry, Scorpios. Scorpios first, then Sagittariuses. We are looking at the Queen of Cups reversed. And let me know if you can hear me. I'm getting mic readings, but they're not that high, so I'll know better if this is a good idea or not for this mic. Queen of Cups reversed. I tend to overproject anyway, so it's my show choir upbringing. You're on a stage, you're gonna project. Okay, Queen of Cups reversed for our Scorpios. Are you tuning into accurate hunches and intuitions, or is your imagination running away with you? Perhaps it is a little of both at the moment. You may encounter a woman who claims to have more psychic power than is really the case. That can be possible. I mean, yeah, and not even just psychic powers, because there are a lot of shysters out there, and Cleo, call me now for your free psychic reading type of stuff. But also news, people who are reading the news out there that are really just embellishing for entertainment purposes. You can't always count on those people. So be on lookout. It says woman, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a woman that you got to be looking out for. Personal note, I do not claim to be psychic at all. To me, tarot is a great way to get to know people, and it's a great way to get to hear their stories, and there's a psychology to it for me, more than it's the cards are telling you exactly what to do and here's your path or whatnot. No, for me, when I have the cards in front of me and I'm reading for myself or I'm reading for others, it's more of this is a possibility. If you took this path, what could happen? And you need to decide whether or not it's worth that risk type of thing. It's not telling you exactly what's going to happen. You're not speaking to the spirits from beyond. Although in some cases, you could think that maybe there's a spirit that's saying this card needed to be pulled at this time to get this person to talk about this and to psychologically deal with it. Yeah, of course. There's so many unknowns that, science hasn't proven yet. I'm a huge person about science, but I'm also a person who believes in, other things out there, but science first, of course. But for me, I never claimed to be psychic, and I never claimed that the cards are 100% right. I just think there's a great psychology to using the cards that helps people deal with things they might not be thinking about otherwise. They force you to think about the things you might not be thinking about, or to admit things you might not be willing to admit to. Okay, Queen of Swords reversed. Be very careful of this woman, Sagittarius. She is tricky at best, malicious at worst. She has a spiteful tongue and may enjoy spreading unpleasant gossip. Any power, very similar to the Queen of Cups situation, except that this person is more aware of the spite that they're spreading to other people, the false information that they're spreading to other people. Now, remember that whenever a person pops up in a card, like a queen or a knight or a king or a page, they could also represent a facet of your own personality. So this goes for the Scorpios as well as the Sagittariuses. If you are the person that is spreading the wrong information, think about what you're tweeting about, what you're talking about on Facebook, on Instagram, any social media. If you're that person who's spreading lies, you really need to take a look at yourself and stop, or make sure that you're not. What you're talking about is truth and facts, and don't spread misinformation around. And if you are not the person, but you are the person hearing the information, make sure that you judge everything that you hear. Look things up, Google it, or go to whatever search engine you trust and check it all out. Get all the facts. Talk to other people about it. Get differing opinions, especially if you're the kind of person who needs to be the person spreading the news, or you base your feelings off of the news that you hear. Get all the facts that you can, get all the information lined up in a row, and then make your decisions. So, all right. That being said, we are going on to yet another person card, and it is the King of Pentacles for our Capricorns. Yeah, that's right. I'm not looking it up. I remembered that one. King of Pentacles for Capricorns. One day I won't have to remember I will remember what's in the book. And Kevin Bacon is about to die. Yeah. In the movie, not in real life. He's, as far as I know, he's fine. We love you, Kevin Bacon. King of Pentacles. Capricorns. A king can describe part of your personality that is important at the time of the reading, as I said, or it can depict a man who is playing a big role in your life. Again, not necessarily a man, but a person. The King of Pentacles is extremely reliable and always keeps his word. He is probably a successful businessman and is generous with his cash. This man is very contented with his life, and if he represents a part of your personality that needs to be developed, it may be the ability to be happy with your lot. In other words, you should count your blessings and be thankful for the good things in your life. Okay, this is a person who might have it better off than other people in terms of this isolation or in terms of business dealings. Maybe you're not even affected by the quarantine and the isolation the way other people are. Maybe you're an essential worker who can still keep working, and you don't have to be like, people who are working in stores have to be around people. So their job is still being affected by quarantine and isolation life because they're at a huge risk. Not even grocery workers, health workers. God, that should have popped in my head first. Health workers are on the front lines. But I'm talking about people who might be, upset that they're stuck at home, but they still have their business and they still have the good things in their life. They still have their family. They still have their pets around them, and they have a huge backyard and on land. But you're upset because you don't get to go into the office. Okay, that can be frustrating when your day-to-day. This is the week to really just sit down and be happy with the things that you do have. Hold on. I'm getting an unstable connection reading. And we're back. Okay, I don't know if we ever left, but we're back. So this is the time to be happy with your lot, especially like I said before, they're saying in the news that this is the week where the rate of people getting infected or dying from infection is going to go up, possibly the highest, but hopefully things start leveling off and lowering there. I know Ohio's being really smart about the quarantine, so I'm concerned. I'm very concerned, but I'm positive about the things that are going on in Ohio, at least. But I know Ohio is not the rest of the world. But this is the week that if you are lucky enough to have things to be grateful for, to just focus on those and not the things that you are losing or have lost or are temporarily lost or have lost. So this is that week for you. And that's a mindset I keep having because there's been a good amount of loss. Luckily, not of people in my personal life, but in other things in my life. And I just got to keep smiling and keep going because it could be a lot worse for me than it is. So, knock on wood. Where's wood? Good enough. Okay, so that is my Capricorns. We are now on to Aquariuses, and we have 2 cards left to go. Aquarius, you've got a big one. It is a change card. It is Death reversed. Now, it doesn't mean death. Death card doesn't mean death. It does mean change. It doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't mean death, but it doesn't usually mean death. It means change. Like great change. So reversed, you are resistant to the idea of change at the moment. Of course, that's what the reverse is. It's big change when it's right side up, and it's you being resistant to the change when it's reversed. There may be good reasons for this, but nevertheless, you need to swim with the tide rather than resist what seems to be inevitable. Ask yourself what is so alarming or threatening about the changes you are currently facing, and be prepared to examine these changes in the cold light of day. Okay, this sounds like almost a parallel to that King of Pentacles card that the Capricorns are going through. Capricorns? Yeah, Capricorns. Where the person has something to be thankful for, but this is the week for them to look at the things that they're thankful for and focus on that. It sounds like the changes that a Capricorn might be going through, Aquarius with the Death card is probably also going through. However, with the Aquarius, the reason they're resistant to the changes is that they might not have as much to be thankful for, or they have things to be thankful for, but the loss that they're taking is greater than the things they have to be thankful for. So in order to deal with the loss is that you have to embrace it. You have to accept it. that it's happened, whatever that change is. Job loss, being stuck at home, complete upheaval of your business. Maybe your business is going to completely change because of this, and you're resistant to it because you liked the way things ran before, but now they have to run a different way in order to keep them running. Or maybe you figured out that you can't change your business to suit this, and that the business is going to have to go away. I know a lot of restaurants have closed. It's a really tough time. But the sooner you admit to the changes and the sooner you go along with the changes, the sooner you'll be able to figure out what the next thing is for you to get past those changes and to succeed in something else. So this is the week to put those plans into motion, or not to put plans into motion, to start creating plans. You get through the changes, you go to the next thing. So that is our Aquariuses. And now we are on to our last card, the Knight of Swords. And if you've been sticking with me this entire time, thank you. And let's just get to the last card, Knight of Swords, Pisces. Flipping through my book. Okay. Knight of Swords. Like like I said before, I can't cut out any of the mumbling. Knight of Swords is a person card, which means it probably represents a part of you or somebody that you know, but it could also represent a situation. So, as it says at the beginning of the description, a knight can describe either a situation or a person. If a situation, it is one that starts quickly, gallops along, and then comes to an end just as rapidly. You may make a series of quick decisions or some rapid changes in your life. You might even feel as though you are caught in a whirlwind. When the card represents a person, it is someone who does not mean very much to you. They are clever, articulate, and ambitious and love to take action, but their impatience can lead to trouble wherever they rush in, where angels fear to tread. Yeah, so I guess there could be a lot of changes coming for you based on your own decision making. But it's telling you to maybe slow down and not make decisions too quickly, because exactly where you want to be. And then next week you're going to get a card that tells you to, correct mistakes or something. But yeah, so it sounds like there's actually a lot of changes happening, or you're in a situation where there are a lot of changes happening and you can't control them. So you have to be prepared for the unexpected, basically. Which I guess that's been this whole isolation thing for a lot of people. For me, I've been dealing with it for about a week earlier than probably everybody else, and it seems normal at this point. But for this person, it sounds like there's a lot of quick cutting things happening. So take a deep breath, hang on to your butts, as Samuel L. Jackson said in Jurassic Park. I'm sorry, hold on to your butts. That's the exact quote. And get ready for a ride, I guess. All right, that is it. That is our entire reading for this week. Thank you for joining me. If you want to, please feel free to like this video, share it with whoever you think needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to, feel free to comment whenever you get a chance to let me know how accurate the reading was for you this week. And feel free to find me on all my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram's my biggest one, and I'm going to try to do some more stuff at TikTok, all at Mary Graves. That's Maire Graves, CLE. And if you want to reach out to me, my email is marygraves. That's again, Maire Graves @gmail.com. That's it. Please feel free to stay tuned, because some things will be happening and I'll let you know when they're happening. And that's about it. Oh, if you haven't had a chance either, feel free to go back to my video that came out this morning, my new meditation video with Lincoln, with some of my animals, did come out this morning, and there will be another one on Wednesday and another one on Friday. So that's it. Thank you, and have a great week. And